All right, welcome to episode 77 of Undrafted Amateurs. I'm now back in the US of A, recording this part in studio, which is fun because it's been 5, 6, maybe more weeks. I don't really know how long, but it's been a while since I've been back recording an episode here in studio, just a fancy word for saying in another room in my house at home. But Alan is still gallivanting around Europe. He is in Ireland right now. And so I wanted to give him this episode off. And so we've got Christian Mosier coming on later, which is going to be really fun to catch up with him. For anyone who wasn't following along with the pod for a while, he was the person I started the podcast with, and we did the first 52 episodes together for the first year. And so it's going to be a good time catching up with him. We also need to catch up on sports, though, because it's been a minute. And the last week has been pretty busy. So before we jump into the conversation with Christian, it's time for our 2-minute drill. So in a busy sports week, perhaps the biggest thing that happened was the Celtics winning their 18th NBA championship. It was a rather boring finals, but the Celtics now stand atop the NBA with the most championships and trail only the Yankees and Canadians for the most championships in any of the 4 major sports. We also had the U.S. Open at Pinehurst, where Bryson DeChambeau won after Rory McIlroy had a very disappointing finish, which included a string of bogeys and 2 missed putts within 4 feet in the final few holes. In the Euros, despite losing to Italy 2-1, Albania scored the fastest goal ever in Euro history at just 23 seconds. As for baseball, there's yet another betting scandal coming to life, but this time it's involving an umpire, which is the last thing my trust issues and authority needed to hear. The Astros, they decided to pull Ronel Blanco after 7 hitless innings and only 94 pitches. If he had gone on to throw a no-hitter, he would have become just the 7th pitcher in MLB history to throw multiple no-hitters in the same season. And then the College World Series, Florida and Kentucky were set to face off last night, but the game was postponed due to weather to 11 o'clock today, and the winner will face Texas A&M in the semifinals tonight. On the other side of the bracket, FSU and Tennessee are facing off at 3 o'clock today. And then finally, Conor McGregor withdrew from his fight with Michael Chandler due to injury, which is a bummer because I was really looking forward to that fight. And on that note, that's a brief synopsis of what's been happening in sports. Probably talk about the U.S. Open a little bit with Christian. But without further ado, here he is. C-Doggy Dog is back on the pod.
It is good to be
Welcome
here.
back. And we have bagpipes in the background right now.
It's unexpected, but it's something that kind of fires me up.
You want to tease the draft?
Oh, you're a little what fires me up draft. A little hype me up.
We were texting earlier today, and I was like, I'll come up with a draft, send a couple ideas over. And I looked at I have like a notes folder with everything, and I saw things to get you hyped up or fired up, and immediately thought of you. Because the number of times that you would say on this podcast, you know, it just gets me fired up. Man. That was mostly with a negative. A negative connotation. It wasn't
just the pod. I say it all the time.
Well, that was mostly negative. This could be positive or negative.
Yeah.
But anyway, that's the draft that's coming later.
Mine's all positive, though.
All positive. I like that. I think mine is pretty much too. But what do you think about the Rory's collapse?
I feel for him, man. I mean, I've lost $20 on that same putt. You know, like a 2.5 foot downhill slider, and I just like either yank it or don't hit it hard enough. And I tell you what, man, even losing $20 to your buddy hurts. I can't imagine the pain. I mean, keep in mind, it's a 1%er of a 1%er problem. Like, he's on the tour, you know, he's like a top 5 golfer in the world. So it's like a very small problem for him, but it's got to sting a lot. But good for Bryson. Bryson has made a full 180, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know, people 3 years ago hated him.
I feel like he's become way less insufferable.
Yeah. Like, seriously, people 3 years ago, when he wore that stupid hat.
The, like, skid lid, the classic
no one liked
lid.
him.
Yeah, it's true. And he also was, like, not the kindest, most fun person to be around. Yeah. Seemed. Not that I was around him personally, but.
Seemed to be kind of a douche.
That would be the word for it, yeah.
But now he, like, started his own YouTube channel, and that's popping off a little bit. And then he's like, I love how he, like, pumps up the crowd, and
Let me hear you. Yeah, give it up for me, Bryson. I do like, though, I was worried you watched Rory hit like the stretch of bogeys right before the end, and Bryson was starting to fall apart. And I'm like,
It's just going to be who loses it less.
Right.
Which was a little bit of a bummer. And then I feel like that sand shot that he hit on 18.
You won it.
Okay, you won it there. And that felt nice.
That sand shot from 55 yards into that pin, we could have hit, me and you, 100 golf balls. And if we got 2 up and down, that would have been phenomenal.
If I hit the green.
Yeah. Especially with how hard and fast those green. He had to land it on a down slope. It was just nuts.
That was nuts.
It was insane.
That was pretty hype, though. I feel for Rory, though, because what was it? 2014 was his last one, right?
His last major.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's been a decade.
It's been a decade. I hate to say it. It almost feels like he's not going to win one after this.
It does. It's a weird dichotomy because it feels like he's not going to win one, but at the same time, he's like so good. Like in the last,
he's still in it in most of them.
Almost every major, he's top 10. So like in the last 5 U.S. Opens, he's finished in the top 10. He's like ninth, 5th, 4th, 3rd. It's like it's crazy. And same with like every pretty much like major tournament, but the Masters, because the Masters for him is that career Grand Slam. Rory is kind of like a mental guy. Like every time he goes to Masters, like he can't play.
He can't do it.
He hardly makes the cut there, and because that's his career Grand Slam.
Mm-hmm.
And then anytime he gets in like within a shot or two, he just can't. I don't know. It's very weird because he's won major. It's not like he's never won. I don't know. It's a weird situation.
But now I'm wondering, like, has it been too long of that?
And
then you're this close.
Yeah.
What was it? 3 of the last 4 that he bogeyed, missing 2 of those putts. Those
putts. Fuck that, dude.
2 of those putts, which is, I mean, first off, tough for any golfer. I think PMT said something like this of like, they just made the gimme distance way farther for everyone.
Well, the thing that sucks too is the one on 16 actually, everyone, like every golf guy or, analyst was saying that was worse, like that bogey.
Yeah.
Because they said if you give him 500 golf balls, he's never 3-putting that. It's a simple 2-putt.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't anything crazy to the putt. It was like a very simple read. He hammers it and then misses the comebacker. And the comebacker looked awful, by the way. Like that stroke looked like one of our strokes,
Maybe more of one of my strokes, not even one of yours, honestly.
Yeah, honestly, I think I'm a little better than him.
You hear that here first. You're better than Rory.
But it's sad. Anyway, it's also sad that not sad, but Scotty ended up making the cut. But he didn't. I almost put some money on him winning because he's so hot right now. And I would like
now as in like the last 2 years.
Yeah, and I would like to see him continue this crazy stretch.
I do like him more after the incident with the law. I know. It made him a little less vanilla, even though he did nothing wrong. You watch the video and he's
so stupid, dude.
Anyway, just a coincidence that you're on right after a major, but mostly trying to catch up with you. It's been
shorts on.
Yeah, same. Watching it, we got the full body shot coming in. Maybe, who knows? Cross their legs like this. Anyway, it's been like over 6 months since you've been on.
Dude, has it?
Yeah. Right?
Wow. Yeah, it has. Because my last one was like Christmas or right before Christmas.
I think so, or it's probably like right at the 6-month point.
No. Yeah. Yeah, it is.
Because we're in the 6th month of the year.
It literally probably right at 6 months. Yeah.
Yeah. So how's business?
It doesn't feel like 6 months though.
No. Feels like years.
The last 6 months of business have aged me by 5 years.
Well, say more.
In like good and bad way, right?
Yeah,
like
I get that.
Hired first employee in January, whole nother aspect. Hire another employee now, whole nother aspect. So like it has been a huge learning growth on all sides of like a business facet, from like business development to, managing employees to HR to, but it's been good. That's why I feel like I've aged a lot in business, I guess, in a good way. But it's like, it's also, I need to remind myself that it's okay just to not work as much.
Yeah.
I
feel like that's
or take some time off.
Such a hard dilemma to try to figure out. Like, how do I work hard and try to do all the things to set myself up well and also not go too far overboard?
Yeah. And we talk about it a lot.
Yeah. And I'm becoming, maybe I'll regret saying this later, but like more of a believer that it's not even that you balance it well. It's just that like you have to keep evaluating it every 3 months, something like that, and then course correct. I feel like that's the most realistic way of looking at it. But I think you've been doing a great job. It's been really fun watching. And
yeah, thanks, man. Just different seasons, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I don't even, my problem is, and I don't know if, I'm sure it's other people's problem too, it's just like, it's not necessarily of the time I spend directly behind a computer or in meetings that's the problem. It's like, I spend a good amount of time like in meetings or behind a computer, but not like anything crazy. It's the like outside of the 8 to 5, the amount of time like you spend thinking about it and just like focusing about like problems or like how can we solve this, and it's just like that's the part I feel like really wears on you because it's like very tough to turn that part off.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily like the hours worked. I feel like it's just more of like outside of the normal hours worked, like you're still thinking like, how do I solve this problem, or how are we gonna fund this new hire, or how are, and they're real problems, but it's like I'm really trying to teach myself and learn from people obviously better than me how to like turn that off and just like be okay with it.
Right. When you find out, let me know.
Yeah, I will.
Because the number of times that I'll like wake up with either thinking about it or a lot of times even like a solution to something, which feels good, but you're like, whoa, I didn't even realize that I was thinking about it and I still was.
Yeah.
So
at the time, though, it was a great decision. Like, I'm a firm believer now, even more now than ever. And like, if you really want to make something grow, like you have to be so hyper focused. And like, I remember when I stopped doing the pod and I stopped doing some like, organizations I was a part of and just like a bunch of like extracurricular activities. It was like, I feel like it's not a coincidence that like, since then, obviously business has grown. So anyway,
yeah, that's awesome. What's been your favorite thing that's happened business wise as a result of that like 6-month period?
Well, good question. I mean, hiring's definitely fun, I think, to a certain extent.
Yeah.
Of like, now it's a lot more of like the mission and like our value prop for clients, which is kind of fun. That's a different hat to put on. But I really enjoy like that piece of it. And then like the on the business stuff. It's also fun to be like an actual company now versus like,
with like actual money starting to come in.
Yeah. Versus like, well, we didn't make anything this month, but it's been fun because now I've had to switch a little bit, and I need to switch more to like on the business. So like processes, how we're going to continue growing, how like what's the strategies for continuing growing, when do we invest in like marketing and finance, and like so it's more on the business stuff now, which is.
I was about to ask you then, like the next 6 months, what are you like most looking forward to? Which sounds like it's something, delegation, and then freeing you up to work on it, or
correct.
Yeah.
So I think like any good business owner, like the more you can delegate, and you can't delegate anything at first because you have no money.
Yeah.
And then like you have a little money, it's like so you can like pick the 1 or 2 things you can delegate now, and I would say that's what I'm most looking forward to. Is just like I really need to, once again, keep hyper focusing on these. Like, if I can just hyper focus on 3 things, 3 priorities, like, well, the business is going to grow tremendously more than if I have these 12 different things I'm thinking about, because you really don't get much done if you're focused on that much. So if I keep delegating and then can only focus, like hyper focus on these 2 or 3 things that actually move the needle business wise, that's when we're in a good position to grow. But it's very tough to commit financially to that, and also commit like internally and mentally to that, and let stuff go and be
especially
like,
because like what you're saying, at first you can't,
right?
So you have to do it all on your own. Then at some point you can, and you have to figure out how much is right to start letting go of.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I feel like that is very hard balance, or like not even balance, just thing to learn how to do, because you're like, at first I have no money, so I have to hold on to everything, do everything myself, and now it's coming in, and now I'm like, if I start delegating and hiring and stuff, am I going to lose it all? Like, this is a great season, but I don't want to go back. And I think it's fun, but it's definitely hard. And so I feel like you have a great mindset through it.
Yeah, it's just like learning from people, obviously a lot better than I, and I'm not good by any means, but I just try to focus on like the less I do traditional work or like administrative work or client, it obviously there's different facets to it, but like the more I can be freed up to grow the company. And that's like at the end of the day, like what my role should be. Like in 3 years, like if things, who knows what happens, but like in multiple years, the whole goal of the founder as you grow is just like to be the face and to help grow the company. And everything else is really like just putting the right people in the right spots. But that's tough. That's like, it's a very tough thing to do. But
that's
who
awesome.
knows?
It's fun seeing you like like you're saying, put the effort in and watching it grow then as a result of that. Also, that bird is so loud and the bagpipes are coming back in. Don't know if any of that's coming through. But I love it.
How old do you think the person is playing the bagpipes? Over, under 21?
I'm going to go like 46.
Oh, so you don't think it's like a teenager practicing? That's...
Wait, is that drums? Is it marching band stuff? It might be. Or are they just drumming along with it? It sounds like marching band snare right there.
It is. Are we missing a concert?
Be onto something. We'll have to pause the pod real quick.
Pause pod. Be right back.
Be right back. Well, it's not
how
business.
Are you doing, man?
Ooh, me. I was about to ask you more about you. I'm good.
Enough about me.
Been it's funny when you're talking about it. The last season has been trying to grow undrafted, which we've got some cool vlogs and things coming out, which I think will be really cool. And it's been good. It's definitely one of those things that, like you're saying, the more you water it, the more that it grows. And the audience has grown in a lot of ways, and that's been really fun. But then business-wise, it's like there's no money coming in right now because of it. And so kind of what I was saying about like the balance of things, I'm realizing I have to take 3 to 6 months because there's a lot of things that I want out of life and a lot of things that I'm hoping to grow. And I think I just need to keep taking it in little spurts and looking at what's lacking and what needs the attention that season and like what can I sacrifice and what can I not sacrifice. Because like in the past, I used to think that I could just work more and end up sacrificing health, and like that isn't the answer. And so in the season coming up, I'm kind of getting back into growing the production company a little bit, which is exciting.
So are you
still
gonna do
hoping
more
to
like?
Undrafted,
Are you coming back to the production company with like a different mindset or with like a different like vision for it? Like, is it?
Not really yet.
Okay.
Right now, it's more of just we need some more revenue coming in to be able to do undrafted, and still trying to figure out if this thing will ever like, can it work as a career or is it just a passion project? And either one's okay. I just would love to know, and I don't know if I can know quite yet. And so part of that is just figuring out how can I extend the runway to be able to do it longer. But yeah, so that's been good. Just got back from the fun trip. That was awesome.
You were gone for like a year.
Gone for a year.
Yeah, feels good. You did some fun things.
Yeah, I'm excited about it. You're gonna have to watch them. Watch the videos when they come out.
I'm excited.
What about you? How's the golf game now?
It's not great.
Not great.
I went on a golf trip though. Did take a couple of days off. Went on a golf trip, which was last month. Yeah, last month. Which is fun. It's fun. It's also fun and frustrating because like we played so much golf. So we played Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and we played 8 or 36 2 of those days.
Wait, Tuesday through Friday? Is that what you said?
Yeah. So we played
36. Ooh.
So we played 108 holes, I think, and of course hit the range and like putting green. And so, like after a couple rounds, you're kind of finding a groove a little bit. Right? Like
that's more golf than I've played in the last year.
Well, that's what I'm saying. If you play a couple of days in a row, you start to find like a little bit of a timing and like a little bit of a groove. And so I ended up playing really well like towards the end of the trip. And so, but now like when I go out and play, like I'm playing on Saturday for the first time in a few weeks, and like
now you feel
it might be
rusty
bad.
again. Because I feel like I've never gotten here with golf, but like with any sport, there's like this threshold when you're doing it all the time.
Yeah.
You feel like super sharp. And then there's a drop off that goes from all the time to anything less than all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you probably got back to the all the time in that week, I guess.
It felt good for a couple of days. The first day I blew up a little bit, like just getting back into it.
75?
82.
Ooh, terrible.
I went like 82, and then I went 78, 70, 76, 76.
Yeah, terrible.
Yeah.
I don't know why I asked. What else beside golf?
Yeah.
How's Becca?
Dude, she tore ACL.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's a bummer.
She's recovering now. I feel for her.
Oh, was that from the dog?
Dude. It was such a fluke accident. But surgery went really well. Just now we're in the recovery process, which sucks because like she's 6 weeks non-weight bearing on her right knee. She can't drive. She can't walk. Like
Bummer.
6 weeks. So anyway, it's been a lot of me making sandwiches, which has been fun.
What a kind man.
I know. Or just heating stuff up.
Yeah. That's what I'm taking out of this story. Poor Becca, but also, wow, look at Christian.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I am just
so great.
So great.
So great.
She would probably argue otherwise.
And she might be wrong. What else you got this summer coming up you excited about?
Let's see. Oh, visiting Chris. That'd be really exciting.
Ooh.
So one of my best friends, college roommate, him and his fiance just moved to outside Cleveland, so Akron,
Okay.
Ohio. So she's doing 3 years of residency, and I think she wants to be a pediatrician. And so she's doing 3 years of residency in Akron, Ohio. So I'm visiting them the weekend after July 4th. So that'd be really fun. And then me and Beck are doing some trips with my family to Bethany Beach and then Cape Charles. So now it's my turn to travel a little bit after you went 6 weeks or 5
It's only
weeks.
5. It was awesome, but it's good to be back for like another day. I'm leaving tomorrow, but
well, there are a lot of cool things happen. The finals.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. So there's a 2-minute drill that I did before we recorded, but
Nice.
got the finals are happening this week.
Yeah.
Hockey's been in swing.
Yeah.
A lot of things going on.
Yeah.
Well, I've got a game for you. It's like a Florida Man with a twist. I don't know if you've listened to any of the ones we've done this way. We've only done a few.
Okay.
It's a scenario, a Florida Man scenario, and there's 4 statements like A, B, C, D. One of them is false. 3 of them are true. So
Okay.
you got to pick which one's false.
I'm with you. I'm here.
You're here with it. So the scenario: Florida man attempts to hide from police and evade arrest by A, by leaving a whiteboard at his house with the message, "Johnny Yates does not live here." B, by trying to hold his breath and hide underwater in a pond. C, by hiding inside of a clothes dryer. Or D, by standing outside in a ghillie suit holding a cardboard sign that reads, "No trespassing."
And reread the question again.
Florida man attempts to hide from police and
Okay.
evade arrest by doing those things.
Gotcha.
See how the gut is.
Ooh, that one's tough. To evade arrest.
Spoiler alert. He gets arrested in all of these scenarios.
Yeah. But which one?
It might have happened, but I have not found a Florida man headline about.
Oh, but 3 of them have. Okay.
3 of them are true.
Yeah, I'm with you. One's false. I'm with you. Okay. The first one's false.
Wrong.
No.
Johnny Yates does not live here is true. Turns out that didn't stump them.
Dang
It's
it,
also
dude.
true that he tried to hold his breath and hide underwater in a pond, which worked until he had to breathe and came up for air. Then C is also true. He hid inside of a clothes dryer, which actually worked, I think, the longest of these until they found him folded inside. And then the
They
fake
looked
one
inside the clothes
is
dryer.
that he was not standing outside in a ghillie suit holding a cardboard sign that reads "No trespassing." That's from this brain right here.
And Achilles says.
Johnny Yates does not live here. How
Dude.
dumb is that?
I for some reason my gut was telling me you were going to try to stump me, and the first one.
I thought that. I was like, he knows that I like C being the answer.
Yeah,
He might go
yeah.
there, or he might do one thing. I'm trying to trick him. So
That's what I thought.
yeah,
Yeah, that's my gut.
yeah.
Saying.
I tried to outsmart
ghillie
your
suit.
thinking gut.
Yeah.
Did
So
you?
all those to the clothes dryer. Interesting.
Yeah. Apparently, that one is. I saw a picture. He like folded himself in somehow. I don't know how that worked, but he really did not want to get arrested.
And
And had
the cop
plenty of
just goes,
Yeah, I think they open it up and they just see him folded inside, which is ridiculous.
awesome.
But also ridiculous, but a little bit more productive. What are the things that get us hyped up? This is
Oh.
our draft for the day.
I've been looking forward to this
If
since you
you're-
said it.
I mean, I have too, honestly. If you're thinking, like, how do I get motivated for a workout this morning? Or you're thinking, I don't know, how do I go run through a brick wall? How do I come back and win this game? These are the things that you're looking for. These are the things that get
I'm so
Christian
ready.
Mosier fired up.
This
Yeah,
is
first
my
pick.
category.
Yeah, it is. This is for you. This is all for
All right.
you.
So number one, man, I feel like I have some really good ones, but number one, this probably fires me up the most
Yep.
because I'm kind of a cheapskate. And so when anyone, anywhere says it's on the house. So if you're at a bar and you get like a drink and the bartender goes, "Hey man, this
It's on
one's
the
on
house."
me," right?
It's even better than if someone else is like, hey, it's on me. If it's on the house.
on the
that's-
house, exactly.
It feels free.
Or if someone like gives you a coffee and they're like, "Hey, it's on the house," right? That fires me up.
That's a good one. I love the way your brain was going with this. You're going to have some creative ones, I can tell.
Yeah.
Okay. Then my second and third overall, my first and second, one, football highlight tapes.
Ooh.
Those things make me want to just slam my computer shut and run outside and run over anything, including cars. It's great. It's a great feeling.
So any type of like high school, college?
We're talking like good athletes, like college highlights stuff.
Got it.
When you like look back at someone and they're just like juking people left and right,
Yeah.
like running through people. It looks like it's
Christian
a
McCaffrey.
video game. Yeah, looking like video game highlights. Those things
Got
get
it.
me fired up. Then similar, same, but different action movies.
Mm.
If I watch an action movie, we're watching Jason Bourne do something. I think I'm Jason Bourne, and it's going to take a long time for me to come down off of that hype high. So,
You would think that.
yeah, I also am that. So, there's that.
All right, number 2 for me, when you talk trash and it hits, that fires me up. I tell you what, dude, when you're playing sports
Yep.
or you're doing something with your buddies and you're talking trash,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and then it, like, for example, you're playing cornhole, right?
Yep.
And I look at you and I'm like, it's over. And then I make 3 in a row, right?
Or you even do it and you hit like a hook shot and it just drains.
Or I just
Yeah.
like no netter, just bang.
Yep.
When you talk trash and then back it up, oh my gosh.
That's almost, this is adjacent. I'm not going to take this because it feels very similar, but it's like when you call your shot
Yes.
and you hit it.
Exactly.
You're like, watch this. I'm about to drive the green, and you drive the green. Or like, again, like, watch this.
Very similar.
Nothing but
You're
net.
exactly right. That
So
also
I'm not going
feels
to take it
great.
because
Yeah.
it feels like yours.
My turn?
Yeah, because you just did your second one, right? You got your third now?
Yeah, third. Ooh, this one's really good. When you wake up right before your alarm's supposed to go off, that fires me up. Like, say you set an alarm for 7, right? And then
Yeah.
you wake up at 6:58, just bright-eyed, bushy-tailed.
I love that. Some people hate it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
don't
I
understand
love
that because I never,
Well, like, right
you know me,
before.
I'm not a morning person.
No,
But when I wake up right before my alarm, it's like my body just knew that is the best feeling ever.
I did this morning, and that's why I thought about it. I had my alarm set,
That's a sneaky
and I
great
woke
pick.
up, like, I'm not kidding, I woke up like 2 minutes right before the alarm,
Yep.
and I felt good. And I was like, oh, baby.
That's a good one. Okay, this is, I feel like, just a super basic, but it hits hard. And it's a good underdog story comeback. Like, think about like any sports movie underdog, any story that you hear that you're watching when the underdog comes back and wins.
Yeah.
That gets me fired up.
Like a Rudy or
Yeah.
like
Like a Rudy, like one of those. Then
yeah.
you knew I had to pick it. Caffeine. Caffeine gets me
I
fired
knew
up.
that was coming.
Knew it was coming. Celsius, Ghost, Bang, Prime.
I knew that, like, at some
Alani.
point you were going to put Celsius or caffeine or like.
Yeah. I'm being honest with myself, and caffeine gets me fired up.
All right, I'm going to do so snake draft. So I got the last 2 here.
Yeah, and then you got
And then
2
you
more,
got
and I
one.
got 1. Yeah.
So I'm going to do one that's risky, right? And the one
Risky or
that's kinda
risque?
risky,
Okay.
and the one that's kind of stupid. So I'll do the risky one first.
Okay.
When your favorite artist drops a new song. And the reason I said risky, because if it's a banger, it
It's
gets
awesome.
you so fired up, right? You're like, I love this artist. This song's unreal. And then you play it 40 times.
Mhm.
But it's
if you're not-
risky because if your favorite artist drops a song and you're like, I'm not really feeling
Well, because it's
this.
like similar. It's like when you get like something super hyped up. If it's overhyped, it just falls flat. But if it
Right.
exceeds the hype,
Yeah.
it's even better than if it had never been hyped at all. You know what I mean? I feel like that's with your favorite artist. You already hype it up.
You do. But if it's a banger though,
Oh, yeah.
oh
And it's everything that you hope it
gosh,
would
like
be
if
and a
Morgan
little bit more.
Wallen drops a song and it's just, oh my gosh.
You're like,
You
I need
know?
some help.
I had some help. It ain't like I can make this kind of mess all by myself. All right. Number 5. When you pet a random dog and he stays there. I mean,
like you pet them and then like you move your hand
Yeah.
and it's like, have some more.
I'm taking this one straight out of Theo Vaughn's playbook.
Okay.
I saw this a few months ago, and he was like, you know what fires me up? When you pet a dog, a random dog comes up to you and you pet him, and he just stays there. You know, he doesn't move. And it's like, he's like, it makes you want to kick a fat kid at Kmart.
I think I have seen that one.
And I was like, I can, you know, when you're like, you're walking or something, or
Yep.
like one of your friends has a dog, and it's like a really cute dog, you're like petting it, and you stop petting it, and it's like wants more pets, or like stays there. Oh,
Mhm. That's a good one because so like Caitlin I love dogs that I choose. She loves all dogs and like works hard to get the dog's attention. And a lot of times they
Yeah.
just come to me instead. And that kind of gets me
Does that-
fired up. So I get it. See, those are some solid ones. So run through your list. Well, actually, I'll hit my last one, then we'll run through the list. Ooh, there's a few options. I love how none of yours.
I figured you were gonna take it.
Music was on my list, but like you got that with your song. And this is dumb, but it gets me fired up. Just explosions. Like watch it, like contained, intentional explosions. Like when you watch like videos of like dynamite going off on like
your FBI agent is watching right now, man. You know what gets me fired up? Just blowing shit up.
Yeah, okay. For the clip, I'm gonna leave that in the pod, but for the clip, I'm gonna say explosions. What else do I mean, they get me fired up. Okay. Here's the other one. I'm going to decide which one gets posted on a TikTok because you already know that's an iffy platform, so we'll see. But my 5B option, it's just great weather. When you just walk outside and it's better than you expected. You're like,
yep.
Oh, yeah, this day is going to be awesome. Two very different, you know.
Or when you wake up in the morning, it's like 72 degrees and you're walking outside and it's like cool, but it's not.
Yeah. It's like not, but it is.
So my 5, dude, right here.
Yeah.
Number 1, when anyone, anywhere says it's on the house. Bartender, coffee shop.
1, on the house.
On the house.
2,
when you talk crap or call your shot and it hits.
It
It just feels so dangerous. You feel like dangerous. You can't, like no one can tell you anything.
Yeah.
Number 3, when you wake up right before your alarm. Not like an hour before, but like 2 minutes. And you wake up.
You wake up, you stand up, turn the alarm off.
You're like, it's got to be like 5 a.m. Nope, 6:45, right before your alarm. Perfect.
That's where I'd push back. Not when you're like, it's got to be like 5 a.m. You're like, did I sleep past my alarm? And then you look, and then you're good to go. Because if it's 5 a.m., you're like, oh, I thought I had another hour of sleep.
That's true. And then number 4, when your favorite artist drops a new song and it's a vibe, but it's risky. This is a risky one.
But you clarified by saying, and it's a vibe.
Right. Because they could drop a song and you're like, this doesn't.
When your favorite artist releases a banger.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Number 5, when you pet a dog and he stays right there. Especially when it's one of your friends or someone you know's dog and they're calling that dog over and the dog's not listening.
That's a good list. Good list. I got
makes you want to kick
football highlight tapes, action movies, caffeine, underdog comebacks, and to be determined with either good weather or intentional contained explosions.
You had the definition of like a 27-year-old male's list. You know, let me get some like caffeine in there and then I don't know, we can like action it up a little bit.
I wish that all those things didn't just get me fired up, but they do.
Thanks, Chad.
Yeah, call me Chad, whatever. Throw in Nickelback in the list. Yeah. Chad Kruger or whatever his name. That's his name, right?
I discovered this new band is Kings of Leon.
Kings of Leon, Creed, I didn't put Creed on this list.
Get out of it. You don't need Creed on it.
What gets me fired up?
Miss you. That's blank.
Oh, you did not just make. That's the end of this episode. Peace out.